Hello everyone, my name is Olectralab and welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, depending on whether or not you've been here before. And today I have made an absolute monstrosity of this massive, ridiculous, stupid vault door to guard my top secret facility, so that no one can get in without doing a painstaking amount of maze labyrinth work. This is essentially a giant labyrinth of massive doors that are both blast proof and incredibly difficult to get through. I'm actually going to have to turn the render distance down because my computer cannot handle rendering this many redstone contraptions at once, even though it's got a pretty beefy set of stats. It just cannot handle what I have built here, essentially. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some TNT, because that's pretty much the only way that you're ever going to have an even remote chance of getting through this facility, should the doors be locked and manually deactivated. So I'm going to go ahead and do an intro. So basically what this is it's a grid matrix labyrinth designed with symmetricality in mind, to be specifically deliberately confusing so that everywhere looks exactly the same as everywhere else. Not only that, but it is absolutely huge. The chances that you will explore, even find every door in this labyrinth is very, very low. A structure there has collided with my labyrinth here. I'm just going to go ahead and start on the outermost door over here. So obviously at the moment I have them all wired up so that they can be manually opened. Obviously I could wire them all up so that you can manually shut them down and direct every player that's in the board manually wherever you want them to be within the matrix. But I just haven't gotten around to that yet, and I'm pretty sure my computer would probably crash if I tried to do that eventually. So I'm just gonna quickly clear the weather because it's causing me to lag even more than this game already is. So basically it's just a massive, endless lab. Obviously it's not sealed in at the moment. The idea is you would probably build this underground or something, or like in the void, so that you can't just run away outside of it. Sort of like a prototype for an infinite labyrinth. So there's these ways you can get through by going across here. Let me just plug my sound in for a second. So you can go ahead and open and close these doors, and there's also these little bridges you can sort of jump across in between the different places. But I'm gonna safely call this the actually blast-proof vault door. And the reason that it's blast-proof is not only because it will withstand a ridiculous amount of TNT blasts, just because of how flipping thick these doors are, but also because this door is literally so massive and stretches across so many chunks that it's blast proof, and that you don't even know where to put the blast. I mean, where do you put the blast? There's too much door to explode. So I'm just going to go ahead and blow some blast doors up, because obviously they're blast doors, so the point is you're probably supposed to have a blast, right? As you can see, they're fairly resistant to explosions, and even when the door is damaged, you can still normally find a way to just activate it and open it. They're pretty resilient, just because of the way that they're designed. They will still work even with significant portions missing from the door. So you can really go hammer and blow a hole in this thing, and most damage isn't actually going to damage the circuit enough that it won't work. It'll just break the button so that it's a little bit harder to find it, but simply placing the block in the right place will still get the door to work, even though it has significant portions missing of it. Go ahead and keep going through here. I'm going to see if I can actually get through this door. Also, there's another way that I found, which is really fun, in order to get rid of these doors, is just because of the way that the door is engineered. If you place other blocks inside here, other TNT blocks inside the door, when the door turns on, it will just activate every single piece of TNT that's inside the door, because pretty much every block within this 4 square is powered. So we can go ahead and press this, and most of the squares within the grid are powered. If you have enough TNT, you might be able to breach, like I just did there, through one of the oh no, it actually went through two. That was a lot of TNT though. You can sort of breach the doors. But I'm going to consider a blast to be one piece of TNT. Even with the door open, I bet it still works. It's a pretty resilient door. Would you look at that? It still goes. I blew a hole in it and it still works. Oh, and also, it's just going to take forever to get to the end of this door. There's just no way. There's just no way that you're going to get into my top secret facility because the door is too long. It's too long and too wide. So big you can't get under it. So wide you can't go around it. So deep you can't go under it. It's a giant door. At this point I'm just wasting my time blasting through this door because, as you can see, even with the keys to the door, it's just going to take such a ridiculous amount of time to get to the end. And the way that I have in mind of engineering this particular door, this is like the Infinity Matrix door, even with the door open, there's no point. I don't really need to press the button. I'm just sort of opening the doors at this point. It's kind of embarrassing. Go ahead and blow through this. We still haven't made it to the end, but the idea was to snake the doors around in just sort of an infinite snake loop, and they would just continuously go round and round and round, up and down and all over the place, and there'd be stairs, and there's just no way that anyone would get into your facility. And we have reached the end of the first row, but I might remind thee that this is just the first row. The concept of the infinite, definitely blast-proof door is that it's really big. So you would just loop this end into the other end, and then you would find ways of making it so that people can't just tunnel through or go around by just making the terrain really confusing or all that sort of stuff. You could do some weird stuff with like portal chunk glitches and all that, but that'd be a lot of unnecessary work. Anyway, the idea of this actually blast-proof door is that each one of these chains in this matrix would link end to end like a giant snake, protecting my facility. And then you'd have some sort of a bridge which would just go over to this matrix, and then you're trapped for like, I don't know, 12 in-game days in this matrix. You run out of TNT, you've got to get more. It's a whole shabazzle, you can't be bothered doing it. And then once you've gone through this matrix of doors, you have to go to this matrix of doors, which is twice as tall and annoying, and you can also die of fall damage if you misstep, which just sort of goes on to infinity. I'm not going to continue loading that because it just goes on forever. Not literally forever, it just goes on for quite a while. And then right in the middle we have this top secret facility, which is nice and safe, guarded by a massive infinite loop of doors. Obviously it's not entirely set up right now to be the perfect thing, but you get the idea. You loop doors into doors, you make a giant labyrinth of doors, and then you have a big facility over here. And to stop hackers from seeing it using like free cam or whatever, you probably just use some sort of a lag machine, like a localized lag chunk denial machine that just kicks anything that tries to enter the chunk, even in like free cam mode. I don't know how that would work exactly. This is just sort of, it's more of a concept video actually, but I think I can safely say that this door is in fact blast proof, because there is no villager in the world who has enough TNT without going into creative mode and using cheats to demolish this door. So I rest my case, blast proof door. Thanks for watching and have an excellent day, evening or morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Please consider subscribing if you like these sort of random monologues, and congratulations if you made it all the way to the end through my boring monologue. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.